Hello and welcome back. This is the Blueberry Billionaires Club, where we chat about life on the ground level, but we have the mindset of what's going on at the highest levels. Okay, today's topic is about NFTs and in the digital world. How do we apply technology in the best ways to optimize our growth in the present time for a better future? Yes, we can always look ahead and plan for 2030 and 2049 and 2050 and 2070. However, we are in 2025 and it's important that we look at issues on the ground level. A strong, stable foundation is the key in building any empire, but also building a system that lasts for a lifetime. Okay, so let's say, for example, NFTs. Have you heard of NFTs? You may have seen all that hype when it was Art Basel. I remember going to Art Basel one year with my mum, and there was like all this hype about Bored Apes and NFTs and people spending stupid amounts of money on little digital NFTs, and it had to be some sort of status symbol, right? So after further reading about NFTs and studying its application or possible application, I actually learned that in the legal systems today, it would be really well applied, and also in the media and digital entertainment world, in the space of trademark and copyright, for example. Now, you may be wondering, but how? Well, if you think about it, a blockchain is where a piece of data is stored. So let's say I just discovered my brand, My Green Balance, or I made a song from My Green Balance and it was designed for the purpose of marketing in my brand for wellness and fitness. But I put those pieces together. So I would say on a blockchain, I would want to get an NFT to stamp that I designed that and I made it up. And similarly, for any artist, in the legal system, you can get a stamp on a piece of paper, or you can translate that paper document into a digital block where it's time-stamped for research in case in 5 years somebody says it was their idea, or they claim that they are Annie Lewis or something random like that, or their brand is My Green Balance when it is date stamped that I am My Green Balance, my name is Annie Lewis, etc. So when it comes to these copyright infringements that may or may not occur in the future, you want to have a system that is backed by the legal system, aligned with technology and data checked to ensure that it is an original piece or an original person or an authentic brand, for example. And when it comes to the legal systems, it is obvious that there are ways that this space is due for upgrades. Not only does it take a very long time for most legal cases to go through, it's very time consuming in many ways, and moving a lot of these data from paperwork into systems where the data can be stored and date checked for obtaining information that is required is important. And that's how we can use the technology that's evolving applied into the current infrastructures that we have. I do like NFTs a lot for the legal system, but also for the music, entertainment, arts, and media and branding. I feel like that's where it would best be served and how businesses could apply these technologies. Furthermore, into the medical space where we have a lot of medical records and we want to be able to pull our data from doctors' visits, it's really good where we can go into a system where everything is stored on file in data to obtain our personal records to make decisions for our future or to let our families know. Now, when it comes to applying technology in the banking and private banking sectors, I feel it's important to address this conversation also. I really like XRP because how it is set up as a digital tool to accompany a fast network of transactions between the current banking system. It is trusted. What I see as if we are trying to solve a debt crisis, for example, because the Eastern world are using WeChat, their WhatsApp, WeChat already includes their banking system where they can scan and pay on the go aligned with their bank. And you can also converse. It's a very diverse app. And you can see in the Eastern world how quickly their society is advancing, whether that is in urban infrastructure, whether that is in building developments, and also education, skill set, how their families are being raised to be efficient, healthy, fit people. And on the Western world, we do seem a bit behind because we have high rates of crime and theft and fraud, and there are ways that internet security has the room to be locked down when it comes to AI and face tracking and people trying to clone people. These securities are very important at this time in an evolving world where tech is navigating through our existing systems. Now, I use PayPal. I like PayPal. So let's say as a person who wants to work online and work with global businesses after taxes are paid, you want to think that on a base level, how your income is flowing after you pay your employees, that you can put aside money in a savings or into investment properties or into different places. You want to know that your hard-earned dollars at the end of the day are moving into a space that can have a better increase of interest or value, that you can get a quicker return on your investment. For example, I work with Sagicor as my insurance company. Let's say, for example, I put my amount in every month. It would be more exciting to know that I'm putting in an amount that gives me a faster return so that let's say I start at 25. By 30, I can have what is promised at 65. So let's say they say at 25, you put money in and you get $1 million by the time you're 65 or six figures. That process, I feel, could be sped up, whether that's applying technology into these systems to link with bank accounts, where the increase of percent return is higher. So by 30, you get that million instead of 65. And that is how I feel is a good way to boost any economy from the ground up, where the systems are already functioning, but people are seeming to be stuck because people are trying to advance. And currently, the systems are blocked in being able to advance in those areas. Now think about how fast an economy can grow. Look at Singapore. You put the profits and the infrastructure in the right places, and you can see how fast an economy can develop and move out of that debt position. So that's where I stand with how I feel things could be renegotiated or renavigated using our current systems, but boosting up their efficiency through using technology and certain communication tools to ensure not only safety along those lines, but also maximizing efficiency, securing food security, agriculture, and making sure things are stable from the ground before building up. And this is important on a global scale because there are many people around the world who are still at that level where they don't have that foundation and they don't even have a bank account. So getting into a bank account is good. I feel like the people who have bank accounts should be in positions to advance faster, especially how school fees are so expensive for parents and families, and there's so much going on. It's really important to take all of these things into consideration, because what we think is $1 million now is going to feel like $100,000 by the time we're 70, because that's how inflation works and the economy. So if we know that's how it's going to be in the future, that what feels so expensive now is going to feel so cheap in the future, there's room for us to take consideration with doing things in the present given this information. And we're at a very good time in the world where we can do great things with this information. And I look forward to chatting more about this. So until next time, I hope you found this chat valuable. I would love to implement these systems in the real world. You know where you heard it first, and I can't wait to work with you on developing these systems further.